All right. Let's fucking do this, dude. We're back. All right, dude. He's already said a lot of stuff. Y'all missed it. Y'all should have been here. I messed up the thing, but that's on me.
But we're all good.
Yeah, but wrestling's on the TV. I know you guys can't see the TV, but he was seeing Rikishi wrestling, and he asked me do we watch wrestling? And I watched like the right before the Attitude Era started, and then on till like I don't know 2006 or 7. So that's like a few years past the Attitude Era. Like you could say it like transitioned a little bit.
Yeah.
So like I'm of like what I feel like is the best era.
Yeah.
You know, but you were saying like. You worked with Joe, which is Roman Reigns.
Which is Roman Reigns, man. He his cousin or brother-in-law, which is Sonny, who was married to a person that owned a furniture company, a modular furniture company, and we all used to work together. We were from Gulfport. We would come down here and team up with that company and just do big jobs, you know what I mean, over and stuff like that. But Joe, I think went to Troy, played football, got drafted by the Raiders. I think that they found out he had leukemia, he couldn't pass the physical and all that stuff, so they had to cut him. So I guess he was in that transition of trying to figure out what he was going to do, and so he came and worked with us for a while. But the Usos, man, Josh and Jonathan, they were there for a while working for Sonny. And I can remember we were in Slidell doing jobs, tearing down furniture, and be at night when we'd get off work, man, they'd have to drive somewhere all the way up to Birmingham, Alabama, do a show for ECW, and then truck it back to be to work the next morning.
That's crazy.
Right? And they would get the phone and be like, look at this, man, the crowd, man.
They had a really good documentary about Roman Reigns, like, I think it was right before this last WrestleMania. And it like showed footage of him in Pensacola, like where he grew up and all that. And I thought that was pretty crazy because I recognized the neighborhood. And I was like, you hear people are from here,
right?
But you don't really put like, I don't know where they live. So it's like, it's hard to be like really connected to the person. And then you see the house and you're like, damn, he grew up kind of like I did.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah.
I went to a few of their live events here, and he was at, not the one that just happened, but the one that was like a few years ago he came, and it was cool to see because they did the whole show, and then afterwards where it was like what you consider like cut off, he like, hey guys, and he talked to us like a real person.
Right.
He's like, yo, I'm really from here, and like he spilled out his heart, and it was like really cool to see him not be in character,
right,
and be like really passionate and like caring. It was really cool to see like the crowd react.
Yeah, that's cool whenever you come home, you know what I mean, to where you can just be yourself again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. When you were working with him, did you know, like, were you into wrestling, or were you like, oh, that's cool, I don't know if that'll pan out?
You know, I knew that's what their family did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From the stories that I heard and was told, you know what I mean, that's when they first started, they wore the mask. And so if someone got sick or something like that, the brother or the cousin or someone would fill in. You know what I mean? But it was just their family thing, and everyone did it. And so there wasn't no allure. That was just what their family did, you know? And they weren't big yet, and I used to always kid Josh and Jonathan, you know what I mean? Man, when y'all make it, man, you need a manager, man, you come get me, you know?
Dude, you'd be a good wrestling personality.
Yeah, but like their uncle Sonny, it just wasn't my thing. You know what I mean? I could
definitely feel
joke around and get in character, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember I was bussing tables at O'Charlie's in Gulfport, and now, I know all the wrestlers, you know, and, you know, the WWF at that time had come to the Coliseum and did a show, and the Nasty Boys had come to our restaurant. And those mugs were huge. Yeah. And they had like 5 plates each of meals, man, a bottle of champagne each, just drinking out it. And me and my buddy, we had to take the trash out, and the dumpster was right in front of their window. And we're on the top of the dumpster holding boxes going, wow, bah, and pointing at them through the window. You know?
Just dudes being dudes.
So, I can always be goofy like that. You know what I mean? But to pursue something like that, that's just, you know what I mean? That wasn't, like you said, man, I've been an athlete since the 4th grade. So I was always doing something. Mostly it was football.
Yeah.
But my grades weren't the best. So when I got in like the 10th grade, man, I grew up in Germany, military. And so when we got back to the States, we were in Washington State, man, and we were out in the front yard breakdancing. All the neighborhood kids had the cardboard out. And then all of a sudden, there's this kid skating down the street, and we all stopped breaking and we're looking at him because we never seen this kid in the neighborhood. And we're on the military base, and we're looking, and he goes down the sidewalk, and then he pops it up in the air and goes on the other thing. And we were like, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
And we chased him down, and it happened to be one of my friends from Germany.
No way.
Right, named Mike Gonzalez. And I was like, what? And so a Samoan family, I'll never forget Henry. He was a big thief, but I mean, he was still our friend, even though he stole from us and stuff. That mug stole our van when my dad thought I did it. But he went to Kmart and stole like 7 Veriflex skateboards and came and gave them to us all.
Dude.
Right. And so that was my first skateboard, was a Veriflex. And I sat out in my front yard for 2 weeks and learned how to ollie. And once I got it, man, that was just a new craze for me. I was 17. I started skating.
Yeah.
And I didn't get this, and went to Seattle, skate with them guys, but I wanted to skate vert. And I didn't get to skate vert until 88 when we retired. My dad retired. We come back to Gulfport, and there was a huge ramp in Ocean Springs called Chips Ramp, and 13 foot and a half of vert. It was a monster, and
you started learning on that?
That's what I learned how to drop in on.
That's like starting at bench at 200. You're like, yo, this is gonna be my. No, it's not. Right. Yeah, right, dude. You might pick it up. You ain't going down with it. That's crazy.
I ate it the first time, but I was so hyped though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was
you didn't
so
have that
hyped.
Fear in you yet.
Not yet. It was coming.
Yeah, it was on its way.
Because I'm sitting there watching these dudes, and they're dropping in, and they're grinding, and dude getting airs, and I'm like, yeah. And dude sat there, and was like, "Here, you want to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I haven't done it." He's like, "Look, man, just slap it to the deck and go down with it." And I'm like, "All right." And I put that mug up there, and I slapped it, and I went straight to the flat bottom. Boom. And they were up there, and they're like, "Hurry up, man, get up, or you're gonna be scared." And I'm like, "Too late."
How old are you at that time?
I was 18.
Wow,
Yeah,
dude, to
18.
do that at 18. Whoa.
But I went back 2 weeks
Because your
later.
fear comes.
Right. I went back 2 weeks later and dropped in, conquered it.
That's awesome.
And been skating vert ever since.
That's crazy. Yeah, I grew up in my neighborhood, and we had these 2 kids that moved in, Warren and Boo, and Boo was like, he was so much younger than Warren. I think was 15 at the time, and Boo had to be like 9. But he was dropping in on like 13, 14, whatever X Park's big ramp was, which I think was 13 or 14. But he was dropping in on that like easy, like.
Right.
But he didn't. Fear wasn't in him yet, so he didn't understand like. Even if you fall, you don't weigh nothing, so you don't really get hurt. And you have all the pads, and the pads are bigger than you are. So it's like you're falling on a pillow, so why wouldn't you try?
Right.
But then he got so good that he didn't need the pads, and then at that point, like, he got old enough that he didn't have the fear for it. Well, Mike was so good that he was a carpenter, and he built a half pipe in their backyard. And it was good for a really long time, and, sun gets to it and tears it up, weather. But... dude, he was really good. Like, for his age and size.
Yeah.
He didn't... I don't even think to this day he's probably, like, $120. So, like, he could still fall now and not get hurt. But, dude, to be 18 and drop in on something, that, to me, is crazy.
But nowadays, man, they're like 12 and 10, you know what I mean? Doing 900s and all that stuff. And I just... all right.
I mean, people are starting everything sooner. Like,
right.
I mean, you're bodybuilding and you're, 18 now?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like, you have the setup. Like, I didn't find jiu-jitsu till I was 26. I found skateboarding at 10, but even I just didn't have the skills for skateboarding. But, like, kids getting introduced to it, like, when they're crawling on boards, and then it becomes their second nature. In jiu-jitsu, there's the Rutolo brothers, and they started, like, from the womb. Like,
but that's just the same thing. Have you gone to Pans or anything like that?
I haven't gone to Pans. I went to, like, if you're talking those types of tournaments, I've been to IBJJF Atlanta Open, like a summer open.
I mean, even stuff like that. You know, we used to come here and do tournaments and do the local tournaments in New Orleans and stuff. But
like the Nagas and stuff. Like, these are the only medals I have. Like,
right.
So those are the only ones I've been to.
But then you're going to Worlds or Pans or something like that. And you're looking in your bracket and you see some dude from Brazil, you know what I mean, the Brazilian name, you're like, oh man, you know what I mean? Here you are. Yeah, we're just picking this up, started as a hobby or something like that, but you're going against a dude who never went to school in his life and all he did was roll.
That's his culture, you're like, dude, this is gonna be sick. Like, I just invited my entire family to this. Just to see me get crushed.
Yeah. I swear foreigners are just, like, better at every sport.
Well, it's like, in America, you have so many different options of, like, the only, I think, like, American culture thing is either baseball or football. Everything else is just, like, life is what you make it. Over there, it's, like, soccer. Like, depending on where you're from, you have a thing that is, like, this is what our country is known for. This is what we're doing. Like, Russian, it's wrestling, stuff like that. Yeah. It's, like, just manhandling things. Whatever it is. It could be an animal. It could be a person. It's, like, I control you now. Like, this is mine. But, yeah, dude, I think... It's crazy what you grow up into. Like, you obviously don't have a choice. Like, you are just born wherever you're born.
Yeah.
But we have so many options over here. I think that's why.
I mean, you got so many options, but it's certain areas. I guess it's the culture too. Like over in Europe, man, winter sports are huge. You know what I mean? And over here is football, baseball, or basketball. You know, extreme sports didn't get really big until X Games came.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the UFC brought the jiu-jitsu craze.
Yeah.
You know? But you pick your poison. You know what I mean? Dabble into something and see. That's like with him. He's trying to find his way. And we ran track, you know. When he got to Tate, he went out and played football. But that just didn't resonate with him. And then he came to me one day and was like, man, I want to do a show. I'm like, really? Okay, man, let's do this.
And you had been lifting for, before he was born kind of thing?
I've been in the gym, you know, my whole life. But seriously, bodybuilding was 2014. My first show.
While you're talking, I'm just going to adjust your mic.
Yeah,
right. You can keep going.
Right. My first show... was 2014. Dude from the gym just convinced me, hey man, you should do a show. And I'm like, man, I thought about it, you know what I mean? But, you know, never. He's like, man, do men's physique, man. You don't got to wear no thongs. You wear your board shorts, you know what I mean? And it's just a front pose and a back pose. I'm like, all right, man, I guess so. But, you know.
And that's more focused on upper body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They only judge the upper body. Gotcha. It's just now, this year coming up, or last 2024, where legs now are involved. You know what I mean? They want to see a balance.
Yeah.
You know now, but my first show, I really didn't train. I just in the gym because that's what we did. You know.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything special. I didn't diet. I drank a 6-pack of beer the night before the show.
Wow.
Exactly. And took 5th place. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay.
And that was your first show?
First show.
How old were you?
42.
Jeez.
Yeah, 42. So I was like, wow. So I wonder what would happen if I actually tried.
Yeah.
So that's when that bug started. So that's when we had to back off from jiu-jitsu, back off from skating, you know what I mean, and all that stuff. And the whole mission became to get a pro card. And it took 8 years. And then I got here in 2020, you know, COVID, you know, type of deal. And said I was going to do a show, the Panhandle, because at the gym, that's what everyone was talking. You should do our local show, you know, and stuff like that. And so I was like, all right. So an ex-client from the Gulf Coast, from Gulfport, called me and was asking if I was going to do a show at the Hard Rock. And I didn't plan on it, but I wanted her to do it. And I was like, well, let's do it. I'll do it with you. I'll
Yeah.
start training right now just to motivate you and do it with you.
That's so powerful. Having a partner to do something.
Right.
Like the push, bro.
So I started training even though she was there, and then the Hard Rock canceled the show because of COVID. So now I'm just like, man, I'm prepped. You know what I mean? I'm doing this, so let's find something else. See if I can do another show. And there was a Tupelo Pro. It's the Tupelo Pro now, but it was the Total Body at the time. So it's in Mississippi, in Tupelo, Mississippi. Chose to do that show. Went and did that show and did good. I think I got third in the open. But anyway, I come back and I did the Panhandle because it was 2 months after that show.
Yeah.
And I took first in the Masters and placed second in the Open.
Is it hard to do that quickly? Like that turnaround that fast? Because like obviously everybody knows about like all the big Olympia guys like Ronnie and Jay and all them, and they're saying like you can only peak once a year.
Yeah.
Or is that like when you're super fucking big?
Well, I'm not you. There's so many drugs involved. You know what I mean? At that point, I was on all the gear.
Yeah.
All the drugs and all that stuff, and you become a chemist of drugs. You know what I mean? Manipulating the formula, and trying to mess with your body. It finally got to the point where I ran into health problems.
Yeah.
But you're lost in it.
Yeah.
And it's not good to do back-to-back shows like that because the body does stop peaking at some, or stops responding at some point, but you just keep pushing.
What is the normal, like if you're, or like coaching somebody, if you're like if Luca wanted to compete,
Right.
what is the normal time off before the next one? Like if you're going to do like multiple shows a year, like what would be the optimal time between shows?
Okay, my opinion, okay, 2 shows a year would be what I would do.
Okay.
Because I found that's just about the perfect that the body's gonna respond to. So you'll do a show, you'll come in, you'll peak and do this show, but you may be off. You might have been too early, too late, or nail or whatever. But that next 2 months, if it's a 30 days to 2 months, is my window. If you can do another show within that time, you can get back on the cut and dry out even more, get even more lean, and come in a little bit more sharp. Gotcha. But I think by that time you've been dieting so long, the body's gonna stop responding.
Yeah.
You know, we like with him. He just did his first show.
Which congratulations, that's awesome. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
What, you got?
y'all looked y'all both look fantastic, but like I saw what you looked at like at the show, crazy. Literally a dream body for some people.
Yeah.
Okay. Crazy, dude.
I
Congratulations. Yeah.
And what, you got fourth?
Fourth place in Open Class A against grown men.
Yeah, that's crazy going against grown men and like
on gear.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And your like Instagram handle is Natty for Life. That's crazy. Like that is insane. Like your body looked fantastic.
Appreciate
like you
it.
have youth on your side for sure, so you're like using that like, but dude, you look great.
That was 2 years in the making. When he came to me and said that he wanted
That's
to do a
only
show.
2 years from that. Wow.
But see,
Bro,
when
I'm gonna
he
look
came
good one
to
day.
me, he weighed 146 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, we put 20 pounds on the first year, and then the second year we got up to 182 when we started his cut, and I think 2 weeks out from the show we were pushing it hard, and he weighed in at 168. So the cap for his category was 182. Usually you don't carb back up until the week of.
Yeah.
But he was 2 weeks out at 168, and I'm like, well, you're going to be going up against men, so we're going to carb up a week early. We're going to carb you up 2 weeks instead of 1 week, just to get you closer. You know what I mean? And because those guys are coming down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
You even find that in jiu-jitsu. It's like whatever your weight class is, you're fighting people
Right.
30 pounds bigger than that because they're doing whatever they can get down to get to there.
Right.
So, like, that first 2 years, what does that schedule look like for that kind of development? Like, are you starting off, like, full throttle, or are you, like, slowly getting up to like whatever you end up doing?
It was more slowly because we were still slightly learning because
Yeah.
I was new to it and I had to develop the discipline and the mindset for it because I was just trying it out and stuff to see if I liked it. And once it grew and like established in my brain, it was that and I'd learned more about bodybuilding. That fire, like for it, started to grow more and more. So as him being the best teacher, was telling me you need to do this and do that, and I would slack off sometimes, and he would go on and help me. And that was like the first early year. And so when we started seeing massive results and stuff, then we started to okay, this is working. So then we started to take action in that, buy food, what we can do to plan more for the next few weeks and stuff and months. So that was really.
What about the process or like doing it in general was a thing that you were like, yeah, this hooked me? Like, was it the actual moving the weight? Was it the dieting? Like,
to be honest,
the results.
when I was in football, it was never my thing. Football was never really my thing because I was just trying it out. And
what'd you do in football, by the way?
I was a strong safety and special teams.
Quick. That's a quick position.
But we would go to the gym together to, just help me out.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I love going to the gym. This is awesome. When I would go back to football practice, like, this sucks. And, And so I would sometimes legit skip football practice to go to the gym. And I just love seeing myself. Man, I look good for this age. And I wonder what I look like if I got better. And I would always come to him like, I want a bigger chest. I want bigger shoulders. Yeah. And it always grew the obsession of wanting to be bigger. And so when I saw just the influence of bodybuilding really, really got to me. But it was the lifting.
Like I just started lifting with Luca. You don't even have to say I lift. I just be in there. I'm trying to see a muscle on my body in my lifetime, kind of thing. And there's some, like, we just had a 2-week break from our job, and I worked at my other job, and I was so busy I couldn't lift at all. And he went to Tennessee and he lifted a little bit. And I was jealous of that, but like, we just started back a few days ago, and it does something for you that you can't describe unless someone else has done it before to someone who has never done it. It does something for you mentally, like for your body. It's not just a physical thing. It's not just a mental thing. It's like, I don't know, both those things and a third thing that you can't really describe. Because it's building your confidence. It's building like your self-discipline, your self-trust, your self-worth. Like I will describe this to people that don't know, like, if you don't have self-discipline and you like say like, yo, I'm gonna stop snacking real bad, and you don't follow that, then you don't really respect yourself. So then you fall on that. So when you get in a good rhythm, you get good momentum, you like, bro, it gives you chills. You're like, dude, I'm doing so well, and it makes you not want to stop that.
Right.
So it's like, it's hard to describe to people who, they're like, dude, they're just in there trying to be like big, and like, it's more than that. Like, maybe that becomes a byproduct of you being in there and you're wanting to build muscle and you develop new goals. But like, I just tell people, like, get in there, try something. Try anything you're interested in, because you never know what's going to hook you. Like, you've done 100 things.
Yeah.
It seems like.
Yeah.
But like, lifting for sure, being in the gym, nothing negative is going to come about it if you go about it the right way. Like, if you go slowly, don't hurt yourself. How is it harmful? Like, it's going to benefit you in so many different ways.
Yeah, man. 2025 is supposed to be a breakout year. My wife predicted 2 years ago that 2025 something big was going to happen. And so far...
Happened to be chest and biceps. Huge.
But it's turning out that way. You know what I mean? Like with him, when he came to me and said he wanted to try bodybuilding, I'm like, all right, man. This mug has my exact genetics. You know what I mean? So I started late. You know what I mean? And he's going to be what I could have been. You know what I mean? We're going to pour all of this 9 years of knowledge into him and all that stuff. In the beginning, it was a little bit rough because he didn't really understand what it takes on that level. So
Yeah.
we're starting off training on a pro level. You know what I mean? And it's eat. If you can't do it, set your alarm. You know what I mean? It actually got military style. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Until he could grasp it, because it's so important. Once he started seeing the results, he started buying into it.
Yeah.
You know, and what was I want to say?
I will say this, like, while you try to catch that,
Yeah.
like, seeing is believing. So, like, once you start to see results, it's kind of like that old Santa thing, like from the Santa Claus movie, what is his name? Or Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His son is like, or the elves say to them, like, seeing is believing. And he's like, dude, I'm not Santa.
Yeah.
But it's like the same thing with results. Like, once you do anything, seeing the results,
Right.
that is going to
Right.
sell.
Yeah.
If you can't see results, you're just like talking about, like, bro, you get big and I'm in there every day and I'm not getting cut or something. Or we're going to have problems. I'm going to catch you in the parking lot.
Yeah.
You know?
But tell them what you know what I mean, the mental aspect of what you were going through. Like coming like 2 weeks prior to the show, man. The show is coming. It's finally here. We're 2 years in the making, man. He started getting in his head. You know what I mean? Which is normal. You know what I mean? You're seeing all these other people. You're doubting your own physique.
Yeah, you're coming to a mountaintop you've been looking at for a long time.
Right.
You're getting close.
So tell them what was going through your head throughout that whole deal.
Like 2 weeks out.
From start at 2 weeks out and go up till the end of the show.
Okay, so because I was still in school, so that was like a big thing, because you'd have to stay up, and it's already hard to stay up in school as it is, even if you are carbed up.
Yeah.
And you don't get that, like you said, you feel confident, you just don't feel confident no more.
Yeah.
And then you just feel heavy,
Yeah.
and you just walk around with it all day, and you just want to lay down, and you don't even feel like getting up. And that was one big thing. I just hated feeling tired, and you'd get grumpy and stuff, and you felt like crap.
That was because of the diet.
The
Yes.
low carb.
So at that point, are you doing like energy drinks or pre-workout or anything? Does that even affect you at that point? Or are you
No.
not?
Workout makes you feel normal
Yeah.
for a little bit.
You'd be in the
how
gym.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
how in the dirt.
Like,
you
what are your calories leading up to this? I assume you're eating. Well, I don't even know, because you said you're carving up, so I assume you're like being able to get more calories than normal.
Yeah, it's definitely over 1,000, over 2,000 actually. But back then,
he coming up, he was 1,500 was his calories. So now we're having to make meals to where it's 1,500.
That's like maintenance or cutting.
That's cutting.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, cutting.
His metabolic rate was 1,800.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm allowing him 1,500 in food for the whole day. His metabolic rate, he's burning 1,800, and we're going to the gym for at least 3 hours every day.
So I hear this concept a lot, and I think it's super beneficial to work this way, but a lot of the times people say, like, have your calories and don't take in effect, don't eat more calories that you supposedly burn. Just set 1,500, and if you work and burn a lot of calories, don't all of a sudden add a lot of calories to your things because you work so hard.
Right.
And then you'll see better results.
Yeah,
but
right.
a lot of people, like normal people like myself, will be like, well, did I walk 20,000 steps today? And
I deserve
I
this.
lifted, I did 135 10 times, so, like, let me get this burger. But, like, people think that way. I don't think you should think that way. I think you should set your calories and then do the work. Like, how y'all are setting up, I think that's great.
I mean, once you train the body to become a burning factory, you know what I mean? That's with that youth too, man. You've been able to eat whatever when you were younger, and it just seemed like it didn't affect you. That's because the body was a burning factory. You know, at that point, as we get older, it slows down. But when you're doing a show, it's a little bit different. You got to be extreme, and it's got to be to the gram. You know, and because that person who's showing up on stage, man, is coming on point. You know, and I'm grooming him for the league. You know what I mean? We want to turn him pro and all that stuff. Already we got a major nutrition company shopping him that we send in reports to, video posing and all that stuff, progress and all that. So there's there's stuff on the line.
Yeah.
You know.
Is there an ultimate goal that you're like already having your eyes on? Like, yo, this is like in a dream world, this is where I want to be going towards? Or are you still having such a good time, like, along the way that you're not really looking 5-10 years ahead? You're just like, yo, this year is going to be fun. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, dude, I want this to be like my lifestyle.
Yeah.
Like, Olympia is what I'm trying to shoot for. And
That's so sick.
Yeah, that's dope.
yeah, so whole
Future
career.
Olympia champion on the couch, brother. This is crazy.
Right? See, the IFBB, man, is gearing towards natural bodybuilding. So they just brought in 30 brand new shows. They're changing the structure for, so you got the Olympia, and then you got Ben Weeder's Naturals. So Ben Weeder's Naturals is like the natural Olympia for the IFBB.
Yeah.
And so it used to be all you had to do was a natural show and place top 5 and you could go. But now that they're starting to gear to, you know what I mean? They're working out all the bugs and all that stuff. And let me say, in 4 or 5 years, natural bodybuilding in IFBB is going to be just as big as classic physique or men's physique. And that's what we want to jump on this now and be forerunners in it. You know what I mean? To make a household name when this stuff blows up. But that's our plan right now. This year, getting a little size on him, doing a natural show. So now to get to Ben Weeder's, you have to win a natural show. No more. So now Ben Weeder's is that much more bigger that it's all winners now, just like the Olympia. So now we got to get some size on him because we have to beat this look we just did.
Yeah.
And
that's always the goal, is to beat your prior look, not someone else, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. His look is good. All he just needs to grow up.
Bro.
Right?
Yeah.
Balance.
Crazy.
I wanted to bring him up balance because in the bodybuilding world, you can always sit there when everyone's being critiqued and all that stuff. Oh, man, he needs to bring this up or bring that up or bring that up. So whoever's number one and they have the standard set, if you have to bring up something, you're always going to be chasing that person.
Yeah.
No matter what, until that person wants to retire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I want to do. When he hits the ground running, he's going to be chasing no one.
Yeah.
So whenever he matures and gets that mature muscle and all that stuff, it's his time.
So speaking of the Olympia and like the Ben Weeder's thing, do you think it would be beneficial in the future to have like a natty Olympia and a...
That's it's going to get to that.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's going to get to that. But right now, the Ben Weeder's Naturals is that.
Okay, cool.
All right, so now that's our plan for this summer to evaluate and see what he looks like and find a show this summer or late August to qualify to get the Ben Weeder's this November to get him a pro card. But now that show is so big, I've been off gear now. This year will make 3 years, so now I'm eligible.
Damn, you look awesome to be off. Like, some people just shrink wrap.
It was rough.
Yeah.
I went from 230 pounds to 206 in 2 months. Lost everything.
Wow.
I had no strength, had no motivation. I knew mentally it was coming, so I was ready for it, but you just have no motivation to do nothing. Please don't talk to me, you know what I mean, type of deal. It was rough. And it took 5 months for my own natural test to kick back in. The whole time I got all that gear in the bathroom, like, you need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just did a lot of praying, to God and all that stuff because I wanted to. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm gonna have to be on TRT, man, for the rest of my life, and that's the stigma that's out there because my receptors are burnt out, you know what I mean? But I just did it, man. I quit everything. I quit alcohol. I quit smoking cigarettes, you know what I mean? Smoking bud, you know what I mean? Everything.
Yeah.
And quit the gear. And another thing too, because he was asking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And no, I'm having major health problems, now it's not the real road to go because when it's all over with, man, all that stuff you worked for, all these bodybuilders from the past, and I'm a fan, and I got nothing against gear, and I loved it, you know what I mean, while I was on it, but you see them signing autographs and they got their picture of what they used to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're celebrating the past. I want to celebrate the now, the present. You know what I mean? And so we got off the gear. I was 206 pounds when we got back in the gym with him. I couldn't even lift 25s on the bar.
Wow.
You know what I mean? From going to benching 405.
That would have made me feel good to bench with him.
Yeah.
I'd be like, hey, we're right neck to neck right now, dude.
Yeah. And we had to work that back, man. So I went from 206 and I'm weighing 220 now, naturally.
Yeah.
Right? So I get to compete in the natural league. So now I can qualify for Ben Weeders. It's a pro-am. So we both get to compete at the same show.
That's sick.
On the same stage at the same time.
When is this again?
November.
That's sick.
Right?
Where is that
Wouldn't
at?
it be? This is going to be in Virginia. If
Oh,
we can
damn. If
pull
it was
that
local,
off,
dude, I was like, we're there, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
But if we can pull that off, and if he wins there, he gets a pro card. If I win, I get to go to the Olympia. You know what I mean? But it's a long shot. But that's all right. We got faith.
Yeah.
You know
You
what I
also
mean?
have discipline.
Right.
Y'all have will. Like, when I see y'all in the gym working, it's like, bro, I want to be there one day.
Yeah.
Like, on that, like, grind, like, how hard y'all are dedicated to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Bro,
Well,
that's
that
awesome.
there is from the show. You'll have aspirations, all that stuff, to do a show and all that stuff, and you think you have the bug,
Yeah.
but go to do a show
Yeah.
and place how you didn't think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think you should have placed higher or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not happy with your placing. That's when that mug came out and was like, that's the last time I'm ever the smallest at a show.
Yeah.
You know?
Here's a good question, because I know you have, like, a knowledge about the sport. Seeing his body, his physique, knowing, like, what the future could look like, how big, or, like, is there a goal idea of, like, size of where you think he should be, or where y'all want him to be, like, weight-wise?
Well,
or
see, that's the thing.
or is it, like, no idea? Because, yeah,
No
the ceiling
idea.
is...
Right.
No ceiling.
I got into it so late. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. He's gonna be what I could have been.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of what it's gonna be. I know it's gonna be great.
And y'all got like the perfect setup because I mean you already have all the experience and you can literally, since he is your same genetics, you can literally sculpt him.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you have a built-in partner. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
he's there
And,
every day. That's so sick.
you know, I work at the wastewater treatment plant, and it's shift work, and so I do 2 weeks on days and 2 weeks on nights. So after working out for 2 years with this mug, and then I have to go on nights, and so when I go on, usually when I'm on days like now, I get off at 5:30, we go to the gym. You know,
Yeah.
he's out of school at 4, we go to gym. But when I'm on nights, I work from 5:30 at night till 5 in the morning. So I go in the afternoons before work at 12. I kind of get there, try and get there at like 11, but he's in school.
Yeah.
So that's when he goes to cantonment by himself. But it ain't the same when you ain't got your partner.
Yeah, it's definitely different. You graduate this year?
Like next year.
Next year? Okay. That's going to be awesome. Once you free up that time, too, like, that's going to be crazy.
I'm excited.
And who even knows, by that point, you may never work a job. I don't know if you have a job now, but, like, bro, you might be.
Well, that's the goal, man, and that's what I'm saying. The natural part of this, man, is gonna blow up in 4 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's a lot of people who aren't curious about gear or wanting to get into that part of it, but they're into the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's a whole new dynamic that's
Yeah.
gonna flood into this, right? And that's what we're looking to capture. You know what I mean? With him.
Yeah.
There's going to be these lifetime natties are already making a stink. I've done gear before and all that stuff. And if you want to put an asterisk by my name, go ahead. I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm 100% natural right now. And I built this up from nothing again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, because you lost a lot of stuff
I
and then
lost
had to build it
everything.
back. I don't know if I would be considered a lifetime natty, but the only thing I took was to help heal a joint. It wasn't a steroid. It was BPC 157 and TB 500. But it's because I did a lot of research and it
Right.
helps blood flow and like activity and growth and so. In your opinion, am I a natty or
I would consider you lifetime natty. You know what I
right?
mean?
Because it's not. I'm not doing it to build muscle.
Right.
I'm not trying to change my. I'm trying to
Yeah.
be able to walk.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
like that's the only thing I've ever taken, and like I'm very on that natty thing. Like, I want to build my body and see what I can do with my body. And I mean, I've never done anything impressive with it yet, so it'd be cool to see something. So it's like, I have that, like, what can you optimally do before doing anything? I mean, not that I ever do anything, but like, that's like, I love that about you. Like, I love, dude, and seeing the results, dude, it's crazy. That's got to be such a, like, I don't know, like a drug in itself to be like, to see what you've done. Mm-hmm. You're like, dude, this is what I've done. To know what I can do, like, the potential is crazy.
And that's the biggest thing that drives me about it,
like
too.
the addiction to it. Yeah.
So I'm excited, really excited. And it gets so crazy because when you see people who've been working out for years and you see how big they be, and they're natural, and I'm like, okay, I look like this. What could I be? Yeah. You know, and it's that question, it's that curiosity that just drives you crazy, and it just keeps you working. Yeah.
It's crazy to see how many different body types there are, how many different, like, how genetically gifted or ungifted people are, and even if they're ungifted, what they can do with that, with drive. Right. It's crazy. It's like, really, you can sculpt your body. Like, it's crazy. Like, y'all know Dalton Musselwhite? He's like a big fitness influencer that goes to Pensacola Fitness. He's like lost like 400 pounds or something like that.
I saw him. Yeah.
That shows you can sculpt a body. Right. Like, you would have saw him whenever he was at his biggest and be like, oh, he's going to die soon. Like, for real. He's going to be on TLC or something.
He was on Pensacola Fitness's page today.
Yeah, because he's doing like a giveaway tomorrow or something. But that is like the whole other end of the spectrum of what you do, because like you're building up from, like, you had an athletic background, but like up from nothing, quote unquote. And he's coming from like having to sculpt it backwards. The spectrum of working out and like what you can do to your body is potentially limitless.
Man, the human body is an amazing thing.
Crazy.
People don't give it the credit it's due.
Yeah.
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 They'll give up on themselves. Like, what you could argue, like, I've talked to Dalton, and he told this story on the podcast the first time he was on, like, why he even started the weight loss process. He was in New Orleans. He had to get an Uber to walk like 2 blocks because he didn't want to sweat. Because where he was going 2 blocks away, he didn't want to be sweaty when he got there, and he didn't want to smell. Yeah. And the Uber driver took him 2 blocks, and he got him there, and he's like, this was it? And that alone changed his life. He said he wished he could find that Uber driver and tell him, like, yo, you changed my life. Like, you having that, like, small little throwaway line literally made me start, which is crazy. Because you have important people in your life will be, like, kind of touchy. It's like, yo, Luca's looking a little thick. I don't want to say something. Like, you know, maybe we should get in a cutting phase. You know? But it's like, it's a touchy subject, but somebody that just is a NPC, like a non-playable character in your life, will say something just so small, and it'll be like, boom.
That's what, on that note, I remember the guy who talked me into doing that first show. When I got my pro card, the day I got my pro card, I shot him a letter. Said thanks.
That's so sick.
Yeah.
That had to make him feel so good.
Yeah, he did, man. He's like, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That is so awesome.
That's awesome. Like, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is, like, I'm very much a newbie in the lifting world, and like I'm like that classic dude that'll be like, start at the gym, but like you don't have anybody to go with, so you have no direction, and you don't, like, it's not clicking watching videos. Right. So it's like, I'm way more of a hands-on learner, so like going with him all the time, perfect. We cut up, he teaches me, like, it's a perfect scenario. But I've tried starting several times, and like you'll go for like a month, and then you'll just be like, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's the same. It's not the same. To have a gym partner, man, and then one that you can count on, man, there's nothing like it. You especially if you can, if you could just get a little bit of a competitive nature, a healthy one. You know what I mean? You're gonna progress. Like when I skated, if I was better than you, I didn't skate with you.
Ooh.
There was nothing I could learn.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be those factory dudes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. I hate to say it, and everyone that I hung out with was factory sponsored.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We are very competitive. Not that I can really compete with him, but
it pushes you.
But my mind is like, dude, I'm gonna do. Like the other day, we were in there and it was chest day, and we started talking about the bar, and I don't know what even was the thing that started the spark, but I was like, I guarantee you, I can out bench just the bar for reps than you can. Because of how fast he goes up and down. I'm like, you're gonna cardio wise, you're gonna blow out your tank, and like I'm gonna go at a steady pace, and because I'm not like clink 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 every time, I'm gonna out. And he's like, all right, go first. And I was like, cool. And I hit 100,
something like that.
It's like 80 or 100 reps, and in my mind, yeah, no, it's 100 because I got to 80 and I started going.
Yeah.
And when I got to about 60, I was like, I fucked up. I know he's about to blow me out of the water. But it's like, we did another one. I'm so new at the gym. I don't know what a lot of things are, but I think it's like a lat pull down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was like a plate loaded.
So we did one plate. So just 35 pounds. Or 45 pounds. See, brand new. 45 pounds. And I was like, how many do you think you can do? And I think you said 60. And he hit 60, and I was like, oh, dude, I'm going to do 63. So I hit it, and I hit 63. And then after that, it was like we had no top. He hit it again, and he did 120 reps on it.
And that's crazy because, like, when the first time I went, I did 60, and I was like, dude, this is it. Like, this is all I got in my tank.
We're like...
And then he did it again, and then I was like, I can't let him beat me. And then, like, now I had something to compete against, and I was like, dude, I got to keep going.
Do y'all work together?
Yes.
Yeah, we work together.
And you watch later on. That's gonna spill over to the job place, because our warehouse back in Gulfport. That's all it was. A curl contest. You know what I mean? We have like boxers or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or if we're throwing away trash, hey, double or nothing, 3-3, best out of 3. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, we're always pushing each other in that way, and it's like, I'm still learning, so it's like, anytime I think I'll get like an understanding of something, I'll push on them. I'm like, dude, I got this.
Right.
I'm like, you would grab that bar. That ain't the right bar. And he's like, no, dude, this is the right bar.
Man. You know what I mean? That healthy relationship, man, that gym partner.
Yeah.
That's when you get the most out of the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you find a reliable one. You know, you'll go throughout your lifting career, or you know what I mean, your lifetime and all that stuff, and you'll see people who will come up to you and be like, "Hey, what time? Yeah, I'm doing all about it," and you know what I mean, a week, and then you can't find them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah, I'm very much along the mindset of like, life is better with someone, in a lot of things, and I'm very much a one-on-one person. So like, I'd rather, like, this is different. It's a podcast. It's more than one person, but like. In my personal life, if I'm going to hang out with somebody, I love one-on-one hangouts. Like, going to the gym with one person is perfect to me.
Yeah.
Because you get to cut up, you get to, like, learn, you get to do all sorts of stuff. But in a group setting, like a party or, like, a gathering, like a Thanksgiving thing, I kind of get lost because I'm like, well, I don't know everybody on that level. And it's like, it's hard to, it's like it's not necessarily social anxiety, but it's like, I know I can invest in one person and they'll get it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? So, like, the gym partner thing, I think that is, like, a cheat code if somebody's starting. Are there any other things, like, if you were to tell somebody that's trying to get into, like, going to the gym, and they maybe don't have a direction, they don't know if they want to do cardio, lifting, whatever it is, are there things that you would suggest people to do starting off, like, tips or tricks to, like...
The gym is the easy part.
Yeah.
Okay? My biggest... advice to anyone would be food, man. Get that diet in check, because if your diet's not in check, whatever you're doing in the gym's not going to happen. Whatever you want to happen is not going to happen if it's not in check, man. And with the diet, it's learn how to eat. Like, if you're trying to gain muscle and all that stuff, bro, you got to eat.
Yeah.
You got to eat. And it doesn't even have to really, I mean, it should be fairly clean, but you just gotta eat. And like, you'll sit there, like, Luca, a lot of people come, you know, when they ask me questions and all that stuff, and I'm, man, you gotta eat, bro. Man, I ate today. Well, what'd you have? A sandwich with one slice of meat on it? You know what I mean? How much, bro? Come on, man. right? And so it would be to eat, and that's how you manipulate the body.
Yeah.
All right, you got all this food, you're gaining some weight and all that stuff. All right, now we didn't gain some weight. Another thing is when you do gain some weight or gain some muscle or something like that, you have to walk around with it for 4 months at the least. Because in the beginning it's foreign to the body. It has to become the norm, because if you stop or you immediately go into, okay, it's time to cut now, you know what I mean? After a month, the body's going to get rid of all of it because it's foreign. It's not used to it. So you need to get your diet in check, and then walk around with your gains. You know what I mean? With your cut, it would be the same thing. Once you get to your desired cut that you're used to, if you're going to go into a bulk, be careful. You know what I mean? You always want to have a tight stomach if you in your bulk. You know what I mean? That way stuff isn't going to get carried away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because trying to cut sucks.
Yeah, like I'm so used to cutting for jiu-jitsu that me and Hilton, the normal co-host, like we did a super stupid ego-driven competition last year. It might have been the year before that. Well, yeah, I guess now it is the year before that. So like 2023, we gave ourselves 90 days to lose as much weight as possible because we thought we were both very chunky. I mean, he was at his highest weight ever. I had been way bigger than that. I think my highest weight ever, I think, was like 242. And it was just because I wasn't paying attention and I was just eating whatever I wanted. And I didn't notice, and I wasn't really social, so I wasn't around anybody that would be like, whoa, what the fuck? You are big. And I came over here when he first got this house, and it came up that I was like a little thicker, and I was like, all right, that hurt. And so I lost weight or whatever. But when we were on this competition, I think I started at 210, and I got down to 170. So I lost 40.2 pounds.
Wow.
And it wasn't 90 days. We ended up making it 53 days. So I lost 40.2 pounds in 53 days. I think he lost like 26 pounds. But like a day after I cut the weight, because like the very final day was like a water cut.
Yeah.
It really messed with my knees. Like my joints were so dried out that I couldn't walk really well for like, I don't know, a month. And I had a half marathon that I had scheduled a month after this weight loss. And I was like, dude, the weight loss is going to be perfect because I'm going to be able to run further because I'm lighter and like all these cardio things I was like calculating. And like the day after the weight cut, I had gained, I was like 193 because a lot of it was water, sodium, all those things. And you're eating like good stuff that you shouldn't. And I blew up. And we were taking a road trip to Tennessee, and like in the car ride, I was bent like this, and then I got out to go straight, and it was like I couldn't walk like normal at all. Like it was so painful on my knees. Eventually that went away, whatever, but that was so bad for me because I was just going so hard. I was like, you think you're about to lose more weight than me? And I didn't have, like, my body didn't look crazy, and his definitely looked fluffier.
Right.
So he had the pit, and he's way younger. He's like 25 right now. So he's 10 years younger than me. He has all the advantages, but I will outwork you if you tell me I can't do something.
But like even for meets, you know, rolling, I stopped cutting on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because my philosophy was, man, I'm gonna start rolling at whatever I weigh. Because if you get in a bar fight or something like that, you can't. Hey man, let's come back in a week after I cut, you know, 7 pounds. You know
Hold
what I mean?
that thought.
But yeah, even at that, whenever you cut that weight, usually it was like 15 pounds, somewhere on average. You lost strength.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you get gassed out on that mat rolling for 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, forget that.
It also depends on the competition. Like IBJJF, you weigh in and you walk right to the mat and compete.
Right.
So if you're cutting weight and you're dry, bro, I did not know that. I thought you weigh in and then you can like eat and like no, you weigh in, you're called right to the mat and you go. And I'm talking my forearms, I couldn't close my hands.
Right.
And we're doing gi, so like everything is lapel grips and like hand grips and like legs and stuff. And I'm like, I ended up losing like the final match, so I got to compete for third place, but the dude that I lost to won the whole thing. So I'm basically the champion. You know what I'm saying? And he also was a DB for the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he got a really bad concussion, so he didn't want to go back. So he just figured out it wasn't for him. So technically, I only got beat by a professional. You know, like, could have been a Hall of Famer. Who knows?
Yeah.
Brain just couldn't hang in there.
Right.
So, like, arguably the best. But, like, my hands, like, couldn't. It's like when you have the best pump ever. You're just like, oh, my God. Try it. Look, we just had to rush a workout before this, and we did back today. So, also, dude, crazy day at work today. So, we found a raccoon. A baby raccoon. It was, like, walking, and it was limping. Its back left leg was, like, limping. It looked like it had maybe stepped on something that was sharp, so, like, it just was limping like that. Not like it was broken or cut or something. So we found the raccoon, and I'm like, what are we going to do with this? I mentally can't let an injured animal go. Like, I'm like, dude, it's something going to eat it. And maybe that's the circle of life, but, like, my heart hurts if I see that. So, like, I capture it with my hoodie, and then we take it in, and we find somebody that's going to get it. But so we couldn't work out at all today. And also, I was escorting.
So what'd you do with what happened to the raccoon?
My ex's mom is going to take care of it, because she, I guess, has had, like, squirrels, raccoons, possums. She's had everything, right? So she's going to take care of the animal. And if she can't, there are sanctuaries in Pensacola that'll take care of it. But so we had to fit in the workout after work and before this.
Right.
So we had a very tight window. And I was like, let's do this really quick. And I'm talking, when I was showering before this, I couldn't do this for a while. And I was like, oh my God, I'm getting huge, dude. The pump was crazy, yeah. I was like, dude, I might be too big for this sport.
Sit there, we'll be in the other. Man, I'm growing, huh?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel it, right?
Yeah.
That feeling is crazy. Like, there's influencers and they talk about pump, and like you see the products that it's like pump and it's like nitrous, whatever. And you're like, dude, what even is pump? But when you feel that, where it's like your arms are just blown out feeling, or like your legs or whatever, and that is pump for people who do not work out. That is a crazy feeling the first time you really feel it.
Great.
And it's not like, I was saying this to him, like, we started working out like a month before the break. And I just started getting in a rhythm where I was like, I wasn't like unable to walk after every workout. Like, your first couple workouts, you're like, oh, dude, I'm not going to use this arm for like a couple weeks. It's so torn up. And that's probably such a foreign feeling to you guys because you're so in the rhythm.
Right.
But
He was like, you're telling me we got to hit this body part twice this week?
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, I'm going to let this thing live. But I was just getting in a rhythm where it wasn't like sore to walk or sore to do. Like, you feel the pump and you feel the work that you've done, but it's not like I can't move this. So I was really nervous coming back.
Shit, after a while, that feeling becomes your best friend.
Yeah. It's a gauge for, like, how well you're doing.
Right.
Not that I'm doing well, but, like, I can't wait to see a muscle. I'm excited,
But
dude.
wait until you get to the day where you start buying your clothes like that. Well, how do my arms look in this shirt?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I'm convinced I don't have abs. I'm just convinced. Like, you were talking about, you got to have a tight stomach.
Right.
I wonder what that's like. Like, seeing y'all, I'm like, that's awesome. You know? Like, are there any tips there?
That's diet.
Diet, yeah.
Diet.
I think you just got to be lean enough, right?
See, y'all say eat, but I feel like I can gain weight like that. I can look at food and it's like,
yeah, it's just what you eat. Like, what have you eaten today? Start with breakfast.
All right, today's gonna be rough. All right? But it's like I had my buddy Tyler on a few episodes ago, like, but we're like these. I have this chubby kid mindset. Like, I can't eat because I'm gonna get big,
right?
And I don't want to get big. I want to get like fit.
But
I want to get.
That's as me being a personal trainer. That's common. I'll get clients who come from being heavy and lost weight. So then you sit there and tell them, okay, it's time to bulk. I don't know about gaining weight.
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean?
nervous.
It's in the head. Or then I'll get someone who is small and blew up. I'm like, all right, man, it's time to cut. Let's get on the treadmill. Oh, I don't know, man. I'm getting small. You know,
Yeah.
right? It's a never-ending cycle.
And it's also that I don't have an addiction in anything in life other than like I get in these weird rhythms with food where it's like, brother, Reese's is a problem. You laugh, but it's I could put down a 2.5 pound bag like while we're talking right now.
Right.
And I could eat another 2.5 pound bag today. Like,
Right.
I don't have a problem eating the bad foods. So it's like, that's one of the only addictions in life that you can't really escape because you have to eat as a human.
Right.
You cannot eat, or you cannot not eat. Like, you have to eat.
But you can still, you can still have the Reese's and all that stuff, but you
Don't
just,
say that. I'm going to relive that moment. I'll be like, yo, what is 10 more?
Right? One of my clients did like that. Where, you've heard everyone, the glucose, the sugar, right before you go into workout. It helps, you know what I mean? Because it gives you that energy and all that stuff, and it saves some of the glycogen that's in your muscles.
Yeah.
So I told one of my clients, man, yeah, you can have some gummy bears. This mug eats the whole bag.
Yeah.
Like, there's a serving size on the back of that.
Right?
Yeah, so it's like, so let's go throughout the day this morning. I always try to start off with like a handful of blueberries.
Okay, good.
Like, not for like any certain reason. They taste good and I know they got to be good, right?
Right.
And then I always try to do at least a 4-mile walk. Like, for my position at work, I'm able to walk doing what I have to do in the morning.
Right.
So I use that as an excuse to get steps in. And I try to end my day somewhere between 15,000 to 20,000 steps. But like, I'll start off with the blueberries, and I have this, and this is going to be like terrible, but I have half of a Starbucks mix with Premier Protein, which is 30 grams of protein, 160 calories. Roughly, the drink is like 400 calories.
All right.
I cannot let go of the coffee. Whatever it is, it's just like, it's a hook. But it gets me mentally going in the right direction.
Right.
I think I had 2 bananas. In what order? I can't remember that. I had an apple.
All right.
2 protein bars. I haven't eaten anything else today. But that's because it's a half. I didn't, and I told him all day today, I was like, dude, I didn't plan for this week at work because it was like our first week back from being off this break. And I was like, I didn't bring any food. We're talking about eating all day. It was just like, I still haven't eaten. And I'm going to eat after this, but I'm probably going to have like maybe 2 egg sandwiches and like some French toast sticks. Terrible. I was not prepared for this conversation. And I just got off of Reese's Bender, which I'm not saying it's over yet, but I haven't gotten any today. So we're on a good momentum thing.
Right. So right now, man, you're going to have to switch out that sugar content.
Yeah.
Right? That's your biggest hinder right now is the sugar content. And like I said, I'm not saying that you can't have it, but just use it at times where it's going to be to your advantage. If you're going to binge, do it right before the gym. You know?
That's a good point.
Yeah, do it right before the gym. Use that, burn off that energy and all that stuff, and go bang out some weights. But then you got to get some good quality food up in there too. You know, the blueberries and all that stuff is good too, but you need to be smashing down some calories, man. Your metabolic rate, just how much do you weigh?
Right now, we're going to say this on air. I'm probably like 195 to 198, somewhere in that range.
I can't see, Zion. I can't see, and I know where stuff is by memory.
Yeah.
He's going to throw me off track. So what'd you say, one what?
I'm like 195-ish.
Okay, so we'll just say 195.
Okay.
So your metabolic rate, man, is 2,340. So your body's, just from sitting there all day, needs that many calories just to just sit there.
See, and I will tell you, I try to do about 1,000 less than that.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So that's when you got to pick your foods, man, that are going to be nutrient rich, dense, and all that stuff. And your body right now is probably fighting against itself, not knowing what's going on. This is what we need. This is what he's giving us. And the body's going to get what the body needs. So it's
Yeah.
going to rob from your own muscles and bones and all that stuff if it's deficient in any category.
Word.
You know? So you'll see quicker results if you switch some stuff up. It doesn't have to be the best. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But just a little bit better than what you're doing.
Dude, see, too, the thing that I think is such a, like, thing to champion about myself is, like, if I can find a way to make the thing and I like it, I can eat that same meal 100 times. I never get old on a meal. If I like it, I like it.
Right.
I can have that meal breakfast, lunch, dinner 100 times.
What's that? What's your meal? What is it?
I mean, whatever it is at the time. Like, I mean, right now it's Reese's. But I was watching this dude. His name's Remington James on YouTube. But like, he's not the first person to come out with this. But it was like the first person I found that did it. But it's like you know what Joseph's lavish bread is?
No.
It's like a pita, but it's super thin. It looks like a
Okay.
tortilla, but it's in a rectangle. And then you just make a super low calorie, high protein pizza out of it.
Okay.
It's thin crust. You put marinara sauce, tomato sauce, whatever you
Right.
want on it. Everything's really low calorie. Diet cheese or like low fat cheese, turkey pepperoni.
Right.
It's roughly somewhere between 350 to 500 calories for a whole pizza, and it's got like 70 to 80 grams of protein.
Right.
I could have that
You,
100 times in a row, like 100 days in a row. That's
Right.
all I eat. I'm happy.
Well, that right there. You start off with that. That sounds good. How are you getting your protein requirements?
No. I mean, yo, Reese's has protein. It's a perfect snack.
Man, I feel like
here's
that's
another thing too. Yeah, it has protein. It's peanuts and all that stuff. But keep in mind, every food has an amino profile. Okay, and every food has an amino profile, and some foods are missing it, and so you need to take essential aminos. You know, everyone takes BCAAs.
Yeah.
But that's for recovery. So your essentials are going to be so you can absorb the foods and all that stuff. So it says like peanut butter. Peanut butter has 9 grams of protein, but because the amino profile isn't complete, you're not absorbing all that 9. And that's what a lot of people misconstrued when they think, oh, well, this has this, so I'm getting it all. Well, if you're not up on your aminos and all that stuff, you're not absorbing a lot of that.
Yeah.
So are you taking BCAAs at least?
I was taking this EAA, and what is the thing that I brought to work?
the Rise one.
Yeah,
I think it's EAA.
it's
I don't know.
like
I didn't look at it.
essential amino acids.
Well, that's what you need.
And I was taking that, but the flavor was so bad I stopped. But I have this hydro salt from Podium, which is like electrolytes, and
Right.
that is the only like what. But that with pre-workout and creatine is like what I drink every day before the gym. Right? Am I just the dumbest dude? You can say, dude, I have no ego about this. I'll tell him like we're in the gym and I don't lift heavy, and I'm like, dude, I have zero ego. I don't care that I'm not lifting heavy.
No, I don't say that.
I'm
I'm
trying-
trying to fart.
Did you?
I thought you farted.
No, I did not fart.
I didn't fart
I didn't fart
either.
either.
I thought you farted.
Bro, y'all gotta
No,
admit on that.
we looked at each other.
Yo,
I thought,
This is live on air, brother.
yeah, exactly.
It sounded like it came from that direction. And I was just
It was not me.
So it's not, you're not smelling something.
No.
No,
You're gonna
it
These
just.
seats make noise. Like,
Okay, that's what it was.
Bro.
I thought you were so dumb, dude.
I looked at him.
No.
There's no way bro can act this out. There's no way.
Y'all are a mess, bro. I should have told y'all. Yeah, it's never gonna be them. It might even be your elbow, but it's like us moving over here.
I think
Yeah,
it's you
it
because
was
you're the only
you.
one
I
like
heard it from
skin on
there.
it.
Yeah. No, I didn't fart, bro.
Because he lifted his leg up at the time. And I was like,
Oh,
no
it's probably
way.
like me trying to figure out my like situation.
That's probably why it
bro.
made the noise too.
Yeah. But what were we even
That
talking about?
motherfucker,
The
he
podium
didn't skip a beat,
salt.
did he?
stuff.
Yeah.
I was just like, are we gonna just let him finish his thought before before we bring it up or what?
Yeah.
It's like no way.
But no, like I do the creatine, the electrolyte, and a pre-workout. That is like the only supplements, I guess you could say.
Right.
I take like vitamins, like a multivitamin, a fish oil.
Oh man, you're good. You're good.
Well, there you go. I'm
Yeah,
fucking
you're
good.
good.
Yeah, I just try to cover those things, and I take like a joint supplement because
What do you take?
the joint supplement. It's by BPN, like Bear.
Really?
Yeah, BPN has I think it's just called Strong Joint. I am very new in this, so I'm not exactly sure what's in it.
You could tell the difference though.
No. And that's the thing that sucks is like all these supplements and stuff that you take, other than like things that are gonna heighten your like mood in the moment, like an electrolyte or a pre-workout or something.
Right.
I don't necessarily feel that, but I feel like if I don't take it, I'm not getting it from anywhere
Well,
else.
but too also, man, that's why food is so important. The nutrition company is out there to get your money.
Yeah.
It's a money scam. You know what I mean? The majority of it.
Yeah, and you should be getting your vitamins and stuff from food, like
Right.
whole foods. I get it. I feel like I'm not smart enough. I'm just not educated enough that it's retained
Well,
to
that's
know
what I'm
like
saying.
where I get it from.
Right.
Best.
It just takes time, practice, and all that stuff. Because that's like with him, we had just had to get that drilled in. But like I said, I had arthritis in my knees and all that stuff, and the only thing that really helped my knees was dang it, what's CBD.
CBD, really?
Yeah, that was the only thing that helped with the pain, the pressure, and all that stuff was the CBD. But I also did men's physique, so I didn't work out legs.
Oh, word. Yeah, dude,
You
taking
know?
a break on something definitely helps.
But the thing is, when I made the decision to say, "Oh, I'm gonna do classic," you know what I mean, and started working out legs for the past 2 years, they've gotten better.
Yeah.
And I'm on nothing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying they're not like youthful, but they're 100% better than what my knees
Yeah.
used to be.
Like, after I went through that knee surgery where they cut out that meniscus part that was tore, the rehab I went through, like, was painful at first, but, like, since I've learned, like, movements, I didn't understand how weak my leg really was, even though, like, he'll say, like, my leg looks good. Like, visually it looks
Yeah.
good. I didn't understand how weak it really was because it got hurt because it wasn't optimal. Like, I didn't have the supportive structure that I needed in my knee, and, like, it got tore.
Right.
Also, it was a freak accident type situation. But even within that, when I was doing the workouts, we were doing things that you would look at me and be like, how is this going to gas somebody out? But it's like micro movements. Like, they'd have me do like RDL, but like stand on one leg and do a kettlebell around balancing on just
Right.
one leg. And it's like, dude, that you could be so not strong and do that and be fine. But no, dude, if you're doing 30 seconds of that or like 30 rotations or something,
Right.
you're finding out real quick like how weak certain parts of your leg are, or like how, like, just doing literally this.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a calf raise with all your weight on one foot. You're like, dude, I'm pretty strong. And then you do like 30 of those and you're like, I'm never walking again in my life.
Yeah.
I said, you know what I mean?
So working out has, dude, the level of like health I feel in my knees now versus prior to the injury
Right.
because of the gym.
Right.
You don't realize like how much it can really affect you. And yeah, I walk a lot, and you see like these people in the mall, like mall walkers, and they're older people and they're walking, and the density of the bones in their legs is better than it was before they walked.
Right.
But you still need to work out the muscle. Walking is not the end all be all fix.
Right.
Which I thought it was. Like, I used to get, thousands of steps. Like,
Yeah.
they'd see me walking at work all the time because I'm like, yo, I need to walk because it'll help the joint, but you need more than that.
Right.
It's just like the food. You need more than vitamins. You need to get it from Whole Foods.
Mm-hmm.
You need to do more than just walk because that doesn't work everything out in your leg. Learning
Right.
a lot. You don't know.
Right. Right.
You know?
Right. You know, and the thing is too is you're never gonna know until you just got to do it, man. You just got to start. You know what I mean? Someone's, well, where do I start or something like that, man? Just start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like he has a brother, and we thought he was gonna come into the gym with us. You know what I mean? But he just got intimidated. But I was just like, hey, You know what I mean? You got to start somewhere. Look, this mug started at 146 pounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a lot of work.
It's crazy.
You know?
It's paying off. Like, to speak on the you got to start somewhere and being intimidated about something. Very weird subject, but I used to not like seeing like violence. Like, World Star got really popular whenever I was in high school. And I used to be like, dude, I can't watch somebody get hit or whatever. Right. But really, that was like lopsided type things. Like, somebody was like kicking somebody in the head or something. So I couldn't watch UFC, MMA, any of that. Now that's like my number one sport to watch. I love watching it. But it's because I'm more educated on what's actually happening. It's not just people like jumping people.
Right.
So it's like, I feel like that same thing is like similar with the gym. Like, people are intimidated. You don't realize how nice people really are in the gym. You can just like tap somebody and be like, you working on this? And they're like, oh, you're good. Yeah. Right. Or like, can I work in? Like, can I work in while y'all are doing this or whatever? People are way nicer looking. They're so in their head about it. They might look mean or like look closed off or look like they're in the zone or whatever. They're so much nicer typically.
Yeah.
I would say like 90% of the time they're nicer than you think they are.
Right.
It's crazy. It's just like the intimidation factor, it definitely transcends like what actually is. But it's because they have that stigma. Like, people are big, they're dumb, they don't know what they're doing, they're mean. Not really how the gym is. My suggestion is like, try it.
Right. Try it.
Yeah, because if you're in the gym, you're already doing better than, most people.
Yeah, and don't fucking judge people. Like, you see somebody in there that's 600 pounds. They're in here.
Right.
You were criticizing them because they were 600 pounds and you just saw them out and about. But now they're in the gym and then you're going to make fun of them because they're bigger or whatever? Shut the fuck up.
No, right. We always, I always, everyone who's up there that's heavy and up in there, always, man, that's right.
Yeah.
Get in here and do that.
Also, it's perspective-wise kind of jealous because when they reach their ideal goal, it's going to be way more impressive than what I'm going to do to my body.
Man, it's just and on anything, we all have a point that we want to get to, a goal, or, or a stopping point. But when you get to that stopping point, man, you never think, I made it.
Yeah.
It's always, man, you reflect on the time it took to get there.
Yeah.
And everything you went through.
It's almost like that. I can't remember where this is, but there's like this bridge thing that it's an optical illusion that the closer you get to it, the further away it actually looks.
Right.
It's very much like that. It's like
your show, huh?
Yeah. You get to that goal and then you realize like, oh, the road is long. This is not a marathon. This is not a sprint. It's a marathon. Like, really and I'm only 30 something, so like I can't really speak on like really long life, but it feels like I've been here forever. Okay? But like, life is about this journey that we're going on. It's not about where you want to go. It's about where you're doing it now.
Right.
Like you were talking earlier, like it's about the now. Like the now is you're never going to be in the future. You're always right now. Like, you think about the future and yeah, you'll be there one day, but like, you're never ever out of now.
Right.
Now is now. Now is now again. Now is now right now.
Right.
Like, it's always now. It's never like 3 days from now. It's always right now.
And the now also depends on how you'll be in the future.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Bam.
If you don't work on the now, you won't get to the future.
Right.
Like, now is the most important time. So it's like,
yeah. Every time that like I see a clip on my phone of like the Rocky that where Creed like, there is no tomorrow, I always get chills every time I see that, because like that is so powerful.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, like everybody's talking about, oh, I'm gonna start this next week, I'll start that,
Yeah.
and it's like, start it now.
That's that self-respect thing. Like, if you want to set a goal, if you want to do something, hold yourself accountable, or you won't respect yourself, and then that like bleeds into other things. You don't respect others as much, and then it's like your life is melee. It's like you need to like have some sort of structure. It just is beneficial. Even if you like your life to be like wild, you can do that, but like have some sort of your life structured. It will benefit you in the long run.
Right.
Like, but live now, you know. Like, yeah, I love being in the gym and like starting that process, and yes, it was intimidating when I didn't have anybody, but like, I don't know what you would consider you, like, you're not a pro lifter, but like you're an experienced lifter.
I would say that I was pretty lukewarm in lifting until, well, I wouldn't say until, but I was like kind of off and on. And then once I started lifting with you, I was definitely more consistent. Like, it had been a while since I worked out 6 days a week. And then I started working out with you, and then I've constantly been working out 6 days a week again.
Because with me, I have like an OCD problem. And I have a momentum problem too. So it's like, if I get started in momentum, I can't be stopped because my drive, I'm like just so focused on one goal. So it's like, I have the drive thing. Not that you don't have drive, but like you have the knowledge. So I'm going to be like, let's do this. What are we doing next?
Right.
How many movements are we doing today? Like,
and I've never even thought about that. I would just go to the gym and I would just work out until I got tired. And then he's like, how many exercises are we doing? And I was like, I don't know. Like,
Never thought about it.
Gonna do this and this. So, I mean, I guess that's like 7. I don't know. But definitely having somebody to hold you accountable.
Right.
It's like,
yeah.
Because earlier or before, you're like, man, nobody's gonna know if I don't go to the gym today.
Yeah, like working out with him. The first, arguable to say, like, do y'all know Austin Travis?
Nuh-uh.
No, he worked out at Pensacola Fitness for a while. He just moved to Colorado. But, like, I worked out with him once or maybe twice. I worked out with Dalton a few times, and he's a very experienced, like, lifter, you would say. So it's like I'm working out with people that are way more knowledgeable. You could say they're, like, blue, purple, brown belts, right? So I'm like, I don't even know if I deserve a white belt yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you get that first day, right? So I'm like working out with these people, but I'm like picking their brain. I'm like, how many movements are you doing today? What is the optimal amount? Like, how much between each set?
Always
like,
do that.
I'm always,
you know what I mean?
yeah. Like if I were to work out with you guys, y'all be like, this don't shut the fuck up.
No, because the industry is always ever changing, but that's with anything.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Just like jiu-jitsu, look how it's evolved, and it's still evolving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The fitness industry, it's so broad. You know what I mean? Just like a doctor. Well, what kind of doctor are you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's wild. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, always get that knowledge, man, because it's only going to benefit you. But then again, everyone's different. Everyone's body's different. Everyone's body responds differently. So that's what you're doing. You're on this journey, man, and you're figuring out your body, what it responds to, what it doesn't respond to, and you're building a program for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and to keep on doing that.
It's so interesting because with lifting and whatnot, there's no real way to know if you're like, this is optimal for you until you've done it for so long. Like consistency, I think for beginners, me being one of them, I think is one of the most important keys. The whole accountability person, like accountability buddy or whatever, like those two are the number one to me is like having someone to go with and being consistent.
Right.
Like, and that consistency, food, working out, times, any of those things. But those two factors to me, just from the outside looking in on the industry or whatever, that is what I would suggest, like, from somebody trying to be into it. It's
Right.
Because, like, even within jiu-jitsu, I always float to one person. Like, you are, like, even if we're not partners every time, like, I float to connect with one person more than others. It's like, it's hardwired in me for whatever reason.
I don't know. I was the same way, man, because you know how someone else's roll.
Yes.
You know their style. You guys complement each other and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know exactly what you mean on that.
Yeah, like, when you do jiu-jitsu for a certain, and I'm talking so much about jiu-jitsu, I'm sorry, but
No,
fine.
We're part of it.
There's like a thing in jiu-jitsu which they call flow rolling. And it's where you're not holding people down in a certain position like side control or like bottom mount, or like you're not holding somebody in one spot where they can't get out. You're flowing through positions. Even if they get into a position where it's a submission, like you could finish it, you flow to let the person get out. So they, like, you learn different things. I want to get into that arena in lifting. I want to flow lift, if there's even that version of lifting. Like, I want to be able to be like so intuitive in the gym where I can go in and I can just like freestyle, like probably like what you were doing for like however long you were lifting before I met you. But I'm so like, I need structure in the beginning to know like we're even in there today, and I'm like, how many movements are we doing, or like how many have we done? So I make sure we count them, and like, I don't know what the optimal amount is like for the general public, but we normally hit somewhere between like 7 and 9.
Right, and that works for you, and that's perfect. Just like on us, man. Right now we're like in a rep range of 6 to 8. You know what I mean? That's because we're just in this growing factor. But we knew in the cut, 12 was perfect for us.
Yeah, those are reps, but like,
right.
How many different movements do you typically do?
We're when we go in, we don't necessarily do movements.
Yeah.
We are looking for lagging parts. We're trying to stay balanced. So we're building a statue. Gotcha. So we got this structure that we're trying to achieve in our mind of what we think our optimum physique looks like, and we're trying to mold into that. So whatever we need to do to get it, man, do we need to bring out lats? You know, the back, most people sit there and do the back and they treat it as one muscle, but the back is made up of so many muscles. Yeah. Where are we lacking in that? So that's what dictates what we do. Gotcha. When we get in the gym. So like right now when we go to the gym, it's a major muscle group. Like the other day, we had quads, okay? We start off with calves because it's smaller, it's a lacking. We're doing calves, we're doing abductors, then we get into the major. Then after that, we get into a little bit of triceps and shoulders, you know? So we come up balanced. So that's how we do. So now on chest day, what are we doing? Chest is the major, so we're still doing calves, we're still doing arms and shoulders along with this major.
That's nice. It kind of sounds like a dinner plate.
Right.
Like you have your protein and then you have your sides. Right. It's like you got to focus on that protein, but you got to make those sides.
Exactly. Right. So on back, man, where are we? Are we lacking in lower back? Our upper back is fine. Okay, bent over rows. All right, that's what it is. With calves, arms, and shoulders. Right. That's a cool way to put it.
Yeah, I mean that's
right.
Dude, I think that's why it's so beneficial in jiu-jitsu to like roll with like even brand new people, because in jiu-jitsu, again,
how is that beneficial?
Because it's you're gonna say the same thing about boxing
too, because they're so like sporadic and like you don't know what, like they don't even have a form yet.
Yeah, they don't. So it's like you don't obey
so
the
unpredictable
rules,
kind of
the quote unquote rules. So it's like typically in jiu-jitsu, if you're going into a class, you are in two positions. You're either in guard or you're in someone else's guard. So it's like, why do we start that way? Why don't we just start like from slap bump and then we set? But a lot of people will start like, I'll be on my knees sitting in front of your guard, and I'm not in your guard yet, but like we'll start on the ground and you're in a seated position, and then I'm kneeling on my knees in front of you. It's like, why do we start that way? You're just like, I can't remember the terminology for it, but like you're just giving yourself into those starting positions.
Right.
Why?
Right.
Like, but when you roll with somebody brand new, that's not how they are.
No.
They're going to give you a look that you maybe never seen before. Right. So it's like, I have that mindset with lifting. I'm going to say some shit that you're like, the hell? Or it might even click real well and you're like you just said about the dinner plate thing. You're like, I like that. I'm like, I bring that to the table. You know, because I don't have the structure yet. I'm just like, the only structure I have is like consistency. Let's go every single day, because like he'll show up to work in the morning. And I get there a little before him just because my hours are different than his. And I always have, what are we doing today? Because like, I know it goes like, what, chest, back, legs, push, pull, legs is a typical thing. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that. And like, when I first started, we started on a Thursday, and what is a Thursday normally?
Thursday usually falls on push day.
And that's chest.
Mm-hmm.
So he said that. He was like, it's chest day. And I was like, what do you mean it's chest day? And he's like, oh, and I was going to work out with Dalton one day, and he's like, well, y'all are doing chest, yeah? And I was like, I don't know. I haven't talked to him
because that was a Monday. And I was like, what do you mean you don't know? Like, Monday's International Chest Day.
Yeah. And I was like, today is International Chest Day? And I was like, that's wild that I'm starting on that day. And he's like, no, like, Mondays are chest. Right. And I was like, what if my Monday isn't chest? And he's like, it is chest. It's like those things I don't know yet. So I'm just like.
Right. Yeah, you're learning the lingo.
Yeah.
The language. Hey, push, pull. Hey, what's your split?
Yeah, it's like split. That's new to me too. It's like in my mind, I'm like, why don't we not do chest on Mondays? Everybody's doing chest on Mondays.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, you just move because it's like the equipment's gonna be taken.
Right.
Yeah, there was a time that I started doing legs on Monday,
That's what we do.
Yeah.
but then I was like, man, it's Monday. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
Dude, he's so funny.
For old time's sake.
Yeah.
like, wow, I want to start my week with legs. I need to start it off on a good note.
That's the thing though, because legs is such a, it's like it awakens you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just gets you prepared for everything else. Like it gets your mindset ready and everything else. And I love the feeling. I hate it, but it's actually my favorite thing to work out because
Yeah.
It's definitely acquired
I'll be
taste.
slouching and stuff. I'm like, oh, you know, I kind of like laying in my bed and stuff. But when I go, it's like it gives you that struggle that just builds you.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love the feeling.
I love the feeling of working out in the morning. Like getting up to go to the gym has always been hard, but like once I get to the gym and after the workout, I feel great the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So
It definitely feels good. Like I love starting my day with a walk, cause like it's not necessarily like backbreaking to do it,
Right.
but it gets you in the active like mindset
Man,
of
it
like
gets them
let me get this.
endorphins
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Them hormones flowing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you feel like you're headed in the right direction for the day. You're like, I was super active this morning, got these many miles in or this many steps in. I've already done so much today, you know, and like the sun's not even up and I'm doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me feels really good. Not everybody's a morning person or whatever. And like, I don't know if I love working out super early. Try to do that with you, but you know, we literally had a thing where he was like, dude, we're not going to be able to work out tomorrow. And he's like, what if we go to Pensacola Fitness before we go to work? And I got to be at work at 6 a.m.
Right.
So he's like, what if we get there at 4 a.m.? And I was like, you tell me something, I'm there.
Right.
I'm by a schedule. You would think I'm from the military because I'm like, you tell me something, I'm doing that thing. Just tell me. And I was like,
All day he was like, so we're going to go. And I was like, you can go. And I was like, I don't want to tell you that I'll be there, but I'm going to try my best to be there.
so I set my alarm and I text him at like 3:15 in the morning. I was like, you up? Nothing. And I wait like 10 more minutes. I'm like, brother, are you up? Are you not up? He didn't respond. Then he texted me at like 5:30, 6 o'clock.
4:30. It was 4:30.
Whatever, dude.
I would have been there.
And he's like, oops. I'm like, dude,
Right.
like you are my like North Star in the like lifting world right now. Like,
But
I
and I
need
told
you to
you,
show up.
and I told you, I was like, dude, I don't want to tell you that I'll be there. I'm gonna tell you I'll try though. And then I literally sent the text, and I was like, sorry, dude, I tried.
Dude, and he told me the night before. He's like, I knew I wasn't gonna be there. Like, text me the night before, so when if I'm still up, I know not to come.
Yeah, but I didn't want to wake up, and then since I told you, dude, I'm not coming, then you wouldn't be up. You know, because I was like, if I'm gonna be up, like I want him to be up.
I hate you, dude.
That's what Alan from the, did you know Alan, the big, tall one with the beard at Cantonment?
I think so. You and him would always work out together.
me and him
Yeah.
would always work out.
Mhm.
He had shoulder surgery.
Yep.
And he was gone, and then he came back, and he hit me up, man. I was on nights, and I'm like, yo, dog, man, let's get back in there. Yo, you just that. I'm like, all right, man, let's do it, man. I'm there in the evening. Oh, man, no, I got to go before work. You know what, man, since it's you, I can do it. You know what I mean? I think he said 5 a.m. or something like that. And I was like, look, man, I get off at 5:30. I'm coming straight there. Cool. I use a pretty powerful pre-workout, and I had to time it, okay? I went in at 5:30 at night. I get off at 5 in the morning. I'm going to need some rest because I got to come back in that night.
Yeah.
So I need the time when I take it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'll say about 2 a.m., man. I'm going to down this mug, and I should be all right. Have enough energy. Downed it. I'm all up at work, you know, and all that.
Yeah.
4:30 comes. I ain't going to make it, dog.
Bro.
Right? I am jacked, right?
Yeah.
It had to go anyway, just
Yeah.
to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, so yeah, I get it.
Yeah. We're gonna learn him something new one day.
Well, it's crazy because whenever I was in high school, I would go before high school, and we literally, me, Jacob,
Right.
all
I
them,
remember y'all.
we had a group chat called the 4 a.m. Club because we would all get there at 4 a.m. And
Well,
it was
you need
like,
to take yourself out of that chat.
well, it was like we worked up to getting there that early, and then it was, all of a sudden getting back up at that time to go to the gym, I was like, man, I'm not ready for that. It's like I got to work into that.
Yeah, it's tough. But now you're in that time of year where it's like the gym is so packed right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we just went after work and like that was the packed it's ever been since
Today?
Yes.
Wow.
And we have a gym where we work, so it's like it was just overflowing with people. And I was like, yo, what are we doing next? Let me eyeball that machine so I can like maybe get on next.
Shoot, even at Pensacola Fitness, I was, when we're on our last sets on something, I always tell him, hey, this is what we got next. Go get it.
Yeah. You have to be that
Right.
way. And it's not like in a rude way. It's just like, you got to plan that. Because
Right.
like, you can't just like, it's tough right now. And it's not that I don't want all these people in the gym. I'm one of them people, I guess you could say. But it's like, hey,
Finders
don't go
keepers.
when I go. Yeah.
Yeah, there was like on the lat pull down, it was us two, and then there was two other guys, and we were like, yo, you're free to work in. And then one dude was like, nah, that's too much. And so it was only like three of us that were working in together.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we were ready to have 4 people working in together.
To me personally, I think 3 is perfect. To have a three-man crew, because when you're hitting it hard, you need that break.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, like I'm hearing like somewhere between like 45 seconds to like a minute and a half is like the perfect break time in between sets. And I've played around with a few where I was like, when we do bench, he goes like way more sets than I do.
Uh-huh.
I'm just still trying to focus on a plate each.
Right.
Like I'm like, I want to do 3 sets of 10 to just make sure I can do that. I just got through 3 sets of 10 without struggling on the very last one like 2 days ago. But he'll be doing like,
Milestone.
Yeah.
thank you.
Right.
But he'll do like, I don't know, 7 to 8 sets of like bench.
He's been at it a minute. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he works his way up. Like he can do 3 plates each side. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I can't think of me ever doing that weight. But like, what was I saying that for?
Wait, man, you're gonna get your rites of passage one day. You keep at it. At 225, everyone remembers that day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, man, it's crazy. Like, you're always, like, chained to something. Because, like, I was going for 225, and then before I hit 225, I would see people hit 225, and I'd be like, man, that is a ton of weight.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I hit 225, and I'm like,
It's not.
anybody can do this.
Yeah.
And then same thing, like, I keep going. I'm like, man, 315, like, I can't even fathom myself doing that. And then I do 315, and then I'm like, dude, this is, like, chump numbers, you know?
Right?
Like, I see people benching 6 plates, and I can barely do 3.
See, I don't know if I'm ever going to get to that because, like, when I do the 135, or is
Yes, 135.
Yeah.
135, I still think, dude, this looks awesome.
Right.
Visually, I'm just like, I'm stoked I can do this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think, like, dude, this is embarrassing. I can only... Literally, we were at Pensacola Fitness. This girl was doing bench next to us. And she had a plate and a 35 on each side. And I'm like, I just got done struggling on my 3rd set of 135. And I was like, dude, look at this chick. And for sure, size-wise, she was smaller than me.
Yeah.
And she wasn't, like, shredded. I mean, she was in good shape. But she wasn't, like, cut like you were
Right.
in your competition. And I'm like, dude, she's benching more than me. Like,
Yeah. She was doing 155, and then he went over there and he complimented her, and she
I was like, yo, dude, you're benching more than I can bench, period.
Yeah. She
And
was like,
she literally goes, this is my warm-up weight, honey.
yeah.
Oh.
I was like,
Yeah.
damn, dude. My bad.
Yeah.
So she started laughing, and I just walked away. I was like, oh, my bad, man.
Look, you're gonna start your food, man. You're
Yeah.
carb up, because that's when you be strong.
Yeah.
You'll
You know
feel
what
it
I
too.
mean? You go up in that mug, you hit that first set. Ooh, man, I feel it.
Yeah.
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 I think I'm in a good mindset because I don't have an ego about it.
Right.
And, like, I'm driven. So it's like the numbers on the weights don't matter so much to me. Like, I'm not going to get hurt.
And they
like,
never should.
yeah. I really don't think I'm going to get that way. I think because doing jiu-jitsu for so long, like, learning that, like, it isn't about the color of the belt. It's about
Right.
the knowledge in your head.
Right.
I think that is, like, a perfect time frame for me to get into lifting is, like, I just feel that way about lifting already. And
Right.
I haven't
And
even
see,
done it.
And that's what I'm saying. like you said, the purple. I'm sure there's some brown belts you done tapped out. You
Yeah,
know
I
what
mean, for black belts, yeah, all of
Right.
it. But it's like I don't even hold on to that. I'm not even like, yeah, I tapped that person out because I know there's like crazy killer white belts that are from another era that will come in and smoke anybody, and you're just like, well, it's not about any. There's phenoms and everything,
Right.
And like, there's this dude Kevin in our Atlanta school, and he is literally a phenom. He's like 3 years in, and he's a brown belt already, and he was tapping black belts 3 months in big competitions. He just has a mind for this sport. Like, he is developing so quickly, it's insane. But it's just, so I don't try to compare myself to other people or their numbers or like whatever. I just focus on like, how is this moving for me?
Right.
How am I looking? Am I happy with what's going on? Am I experiencing this the way I want to?
Progression.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I'm like focused on. We're gonna get out of here, but y'all have the competition coming up in November. Is there anything
That's what we're
else?
shooting for, and we have to qualify
Yeah.
for the show in November. So right now the focus is just gaining weight, getting bigger. So the whole goal is we have to beat that look. It's progression.
Yeah.
All right. We always want to look better than we did when we got on stage last time, man. So that way we know we're doing something. You know what I mean? So we need to gain weight. July, we will sit back and evaluate, see where we got to, and I think that's long enough to carry around the weight that we've put on, that we can start looking at something to qualify for November.
Okay.
So August, you know what I mean? Might be a show around that time. But something to qualify us for November. That's the goal.
That's awesome. I look forward to seeing like the results from y'all's year. Like I see what y'all do in the gym. Like, I've only seen you a few times there because of my inconsistency. They're not because of y'all's,
Right.
but like the drive there is crazy for you guys. So come July, I might send you a picture. I have a vein all of a sudden.
Right?
Like, I might have a muscle by July. Who knows? Like, it might be my knee or something, but like, yo, I might have a muscle on me. So I'm excited to see where y'all go this year.
You got good structure,
Yeah, you
too.
do.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
You should put that in your bucket list in the future to do a show.
I'm covered in
Look,
tattoos. I don't even know if they'd see this.
There's a dude,
Yeah,
Joe,
in the gym
covered in
just did his
tattoos.
show.
Yeah, and he
Covered in
did.
tattoos.
Yeah.
And we're still waiting on you.
Yeah.
Dude,
I need a.
he's trying to get a fight this year. He might even do a show.
Are you?
That would be in the plan. I need to definitely get more consistent. And
Are you rolling?
No, I box.
He boxes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I'm trying to get down to like a good, comfortable weight.
Well, how much you weigh?
Right now I'm 190.
That's cruiserweight.
Yeah.
What do you want to fight at?
Probably like 165.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's fluffy.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's got good structure for sure.
Where are you fighting at?
I fight for Roy Jones Senior, the dungeon.
You're at his camp?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
senior, not junior though.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I've cooked. Junior's not training nobody. It's just senior.
I
Or
think
is he?
junior is training. I think he has a gym out in Milton, maybe. He's got a few fighters, right? That do
He does have
island
a
fights.
few fighters, but I don't know where his location is.
Yeah,
The
I'm not sure
senior
either.
is up in Molino, right?
Uh,
Or somewhere up there.
No, we're in the Fast Eddies.
Yeah.
In
Well,
Car City.
don't give it right away. But
Yeah, but
over in that area.
yeah, we're over in that area.
Right. Okay. How long you been training with him?
I've been since the 7th grade. I don't know how old I was, but I mean,
You've been there since then?
Mhm.
Okay.
yeah.
Nice.
I was really consistent whenever I first started, and then I went to Italy for the summer, and then whenever I came back, we were like moving gyms a lot, so it was hard to get back in a rhythm. And then ever since then, I just was kind of off and on training. But now I've been going back regularly for probably the past 6 months or so, maybe.
Okay.
Aside the time that I went to Tennessee for
Right.
the holidays.
Yeah, he was training. I used to box amateurs, and I was working at the casino in in Biloxi when Roy Jones' camp came down there, and one of his trainers invited me to come to their camp. He said they were at Clay Street Boxing Club at that point. They're no longer open now, but that was decades ago.
Dude, it'd be sick if we all did a show. Maybe we all did like a jiu-jitsu tournament.
Yeah.
None of us can box. Like you got us on that.
Yeah, right.
But at least they have the background in the jiu-jitsu.
I'm done with getting hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it'd be sick if like we all went to each other's stuff. Virginia,
Yeah.
that's a
Man.
bit of a stretch.
Yeah,
but
that's
who
a
knows?
bit of a stretch, but no doubt I would support you guys on anything you guys did.
If you like your qualifying show, would that be something that would be nearby?
Yeah.
Dude, we gotta go. That'd be sick to go. I would love to go to a show. I've never been to a show.
Yeah, I've only been to the one show. Jacob.
Max Fit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Max Fit Classic, the one that
You competed
Jacob.
or?
No, Jacob did.
Okay.
I just went to watch.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be
No,
sick
no. That was the Panhandle. I got pictures of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
was
the
the
Panhandle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was just wearing a Max Fit shirt, and that's why I thought it was Max Fit. Yeah, that was the Panhandle one. It was out in Fort Walton. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be sure to keep up with you guys and see like where y'all are gonna do the qualifier, and
Right.
we'll try to come to that for sure.
Yeah. I'll keep in touch and we'll post it and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you're doing a competition or anything like that, I'm gonna come.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I plan to compete this year. Definitely still seeing how this goes and like getting back into the rhythm full time. But yeah, that is the plan.
What are you boxing amateurs right now, or what's
No,
y'all's
I've never
plans?
had a fight before, so I've just been training.
But you're gonna box. Are you gonna box amateurs, or are you just gonna go pro?
Well, I'll do amateurs first.
Okay.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah. Here's a story. In Mobile, my first boxing match. I had watched this dude get knocked out 2 weeks prior, and when I saw that I had him, I was fighting 190, and he was from Memphis. Came down, we were in Mobile, we got to where we were fighting each other, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna get him. And we got in there, and man, I got gas.
Yeah.
And we got in there, we just stood in the middle and just started going, missing. And all of a sudden, I saw a bright light. Pow! Everyone disappeared.
Yeah.
The crowd disappeared. The ref disappeared. That dude disappeared. And I was in the ring by myself. And the mat started pulsating white. And it was going vroom, vroom, vroom. And I'm standing there in the ring by myself, looking at the mat pulsate, and I'm like, God, that looks so pretty. I just want to lay down on it. And when I went to lay down on it, I saw another bright light. Pow! And everyone was back. The crowd was all yelling.
Whoa.
That dream happened. Pow, pow, in between those two punches.
Wow.
That's
Dang.
crazy.
Right.
Yeah, that's
It's
crazy.
crazy. You see fights like that happen where somebody knocks somebody out and then they
Of
knock them
reality,
back
bro.
awake,
Right.
and you're
Yeah.
like, "Damn, you had it!" You had it right here. That's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
That dream happened just bam, bam, in between that punch right there.
Mhm.
That was crazy.
It's crazy when you're about to go out how senses like shut off, because like when you're being choked out,
Uh-huh.
hearing goes,
Right.
Yeah.
and then sight starts to go, and you see the
The
stars,
yeah.
and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then when it's coming back, you're like slowly hearing people,
Right?
and you're like, whoa, that's wild.
Yeah, that's like the first thing. Your ears feel like they're getting hot, and then it starts ringing,
Yeah.
and then you're like, if I don't tap now, I'm probably going to sleep.
But man, it was a pleasure, man. I enjoyed this, man.
Yeah,
This
dude,
was pretty cool,
absolutely
man.
have to have you guys back on.
No doubt.
Like, because there's more to talk about, and like there's definitely a lot more to hear. Before we get out of here, I'm gonna shout out some sponsors. Toy Snob and Pink Social Club. Thank you guys so much for sending those shirts to me. I said something to them about one of the shirts. I was like, dude, you got to like put this back on because I want to order it.
Right.
And they just sent me the shirt. They sent me this shirt, which is
Oh.
Pink Social Club. It's like
Sweet.
this lady had cancer, or has cancer, I guess is how you say it.
Yeah.
And she's from Miami, and she just started this like to support cancer, and it's like a product line of shirts and cool products. And her husband does the Toy Snob, which is like more like graphic tees of like cool things like Mutant Ninja Turtles, and like he sent me a shirt that says snitches get stitches and it's Santa Claus, like so it's like really funny.
Yeah.
But her stuff is like to support breast cancer.
Pink Social Club. Nice. We'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's like from the ground floor there. It's just like a very small operation, but they're really dope people. Also, if you're thinking about getting tattooed, Johnny Mumbles at Sacred Grounds Tattoo Studio, he is the guy to go to. We're very close to wrapping up on my back, so I can't wait to show you guys what that looks like. He's done some work on Hilton. Luca is potentially getting a sleeve and a leg sleeve, but you know, if
Maybe
his
in the
wife
future.
says yes. But dude, if y'all love tattoos, if you want to get tattoos in the future, brother Johnny's the guy. He is so talented, it's crazy. His studio is right at the foot of the bridge, so his view is at the 3 Mile Bridge. Like you get to see, he's at second story, so you're overlooking the water and you see the bridge. It's so gorgeous when you're there. Studio's sick. All the people there are really dope. Check them out on Instagram at Johnny Mumbles or at Sacred Grounds Tattoos. We post our stuff in our stories all the time, so check it out. Can't thank you guys enough for coming in.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
This was
Yeah,
super
it was dope,
dope. I'm
right?
like very new to the sport and like crazy interested. Of course, you know, watching all the documentaries of every Olympian, but like it's cool to see like people actually doing it in front of you.
Right, man. We live the life.
Yeah. So thank you
Right.
guys for coming in.
And thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Yep,
Thanks for
absolutely.
barely talking.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Appreciate you guys for listening. Thank you so much. We're out of here.
Peace.